You're doing great. Keep going. I want you to succeed. I want you to be a better filmmaker, and don't give up. I really want to encourage you to do spec commercials, because out of last 4 spec commercials, I sold 3 of them, and the only one I didn't sell, we still had a conversation with the client, and I thought we were gonna sell it. So 75% success rate is pretty damn good. As we are speaking now with Trupanion, I'm in the process of selling this commercial to them as is. They might not even want to reshoot it, and I still cannot believe that it even happened. I just thought of something in my head. I believe in myself. I invested into myself, and I sold it. I sold the commercial. I mean, did I find the formula for creating my own work? The work the one I want to do, the way I want to do it, the work with the people I like to work with. And at the end, I just sell it to the company. I mean, I don't think it's going to work this good myself. So it kind of works for me, and I believe it can work for you. You just need to believe in yourself that you can create something on your own. And sometimes it means saying no to a low-hanging fruit. What I mean by that is sometimes you have these little projects like, hey, let's go shoot a talking head corporate video, and here's $800. Or it's a run and gun pull-up music video. Yes, you can get those jobs, but if you forgo doing a commercial like this, which would end up bringing you 20, 30, 40 times more than these little tiny low-hanging gigs, you will never get to that, to do the work you like to do. You will always just be chasing these little jobs because you don't think you can do better, but you can do better, and I want you to know it. And if nobody told you yet that they believe in you and that they appreciate you and they want you to succeed as a filmmaker, that I'm gonna be the person. So you're doing great. Keep going. I want you to succeed. I want you to be a better filmmaker, and don't give up, because it's so easy to give up and start doing something else. But I know from experience that you need just maybe I have a friend I just see him once every 5 years. He's really accomplished DP, but every time I talk to him, I'm like, I get fueled up with inspiration and energy, and maybe I felt right before I talked to him that like quitting or just thinking that I'm not a good filmmaker. But after I talked to him, I'm just, I'm fueled up, and I'm just ready to go and just try and keep going, and just, he's my inspiration. So you need an inspiration, and if I'm the only person who is your inspiration, just keep going. You will do better, and you're gonna improve. You just have to believe in yourself as well. If you stay to the end of the video, I'll show you the process, how I took this commercial and sold it to Trupanion. But right now, let's get back to third part of the commercial breakdown. Here we go. We will be looking at really 2 setups and 4 shots. So it's 2 and 2. We already talked about all these shots, and today we'll be talking about this one. This is slide forward, this one as well. This one steady, and this one also steady. They repeat, but it's the same shot. All right, so let's get to it. I'm gonna slide to this, and we go back to text scouting and blocking. As you can see, I'm on the wrong side here, even here, and I'm on the close side, not on the far side. And what I mean by that is, sorry, that was my mistake. If I had a eye line between the 2 characters, the 2 subjects, talent, So this is the receptionist. If the eye light is here and the light is coming from here, I'm on the side with the light. That makes the image more flat rather than if I would be on the other side, which I realized later when I was doing the storyboards. So if I rewind a little bit, you can see this is the receptionist actress, and she's looking at her. So we are on this side of the line, and the sun, not the sun, the light is coming from the opposite side. You get more depth this way, right? You can see more of the shadow, and just the light on the skin looks nicer, more dimensional rather than on this side. So it's a small little tweak, but it's a big difference. It would be even nicer if we could go even more this way. However, I would start losing her, and I wanted to have the screen in the shot. It's kind of a little empty on this side. I wish there was something here. That's why I wish I can be more on this side. And last thing, which, if you remember, I was talking about those 10% that I would like to change or upgrade or make better. This is one of those 10%. This is that one, the negative 1% where I thought of it on the shoot. He's very close to her, and there's a light here. We're gonna talk about it in a second. He's really like basking in the light. It's so strong, and it's just he's too close to him and distracting. Originally I wanted him to go to the door and just that he's leaving, but Josh said the door makes sound, so we nixed it. Then we did this shot, and it was good, except he was too close. I realized that, and I suggested he might go a little bit further away, but our main light, which was coming this way, or actually maybe it was the tube, it just died out, and we were already like hour behind, or maybe a little more, and I really didn't want to stretch it longer, so I just said that's it. I just went with it. So yeah, I wish he was a little bit further, but hey, it's good. It's all good. The another setup we're gonna talk about is I'm gonna rewind here. So if I play this, yeah. So it's a slider shot going towards the receptionist, and that is this shot right here. I don't think there's much more here. It's just very short, 3 seconds. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out where I'm gonna be, and pretty much the same thing. Yeah, I got a little lower. That helped too. So yeah, so that was my blocking, and from this I figure out the storyboards. I don't really need to talk about it again. Can I play it? Yep, I can play it. You can see what I did. I just recorded the back of the screen. I just drew on top of the back screen. I just traced it. I talked about it in the previous episodes. I'm gonna move on from this. You got this. As you can see, these are the storyboards I came up with. Really, it's just a trace of these two. And now let's get to lighting. All right, so these are the final two scenes. One of them, this is the slider shot, so we're sliding on this one, and this is steady. We don't slide at all, and that was on purpose. This shot is the client is still worrying about the bill and if she can afford it, so I wanted to create a tension and unease. I was considering an easy rig, but I thought the slider would work so much better if we are just pushing towards her and we have a voiceover of thinking that end up in the commercial of, I don't know how expensive this is gonna be. I don't know if I can afford it. And you can see she's frowning, and just like we are going into isolating her, moving towards her. So that's why there was moving shot there. And then here we already got the news that Trupanion covered most of the bill and you're good to go. So she's really happy. We are steady, so I left it on sticks. So that was the decision for the camera movement. All right, so let's go back to lighting. Well, let's start with the first shot. I had a key here. That's this light I figured out. That's a wrap. So did I have a key? No, I don't think I have a wrap. Yeah, I changed it a little bit. It's not exactly the same. I thought I had a key from this area and a wrap from here, but it turned out that this will be the key. So I have a key from, it's slightly different than the diagram. And then I took the 600 and I created the light which is hitting this door. You can see it over here. Yeah, if I zoom in, you can see it right here, right? That's the light. Oops. This is the light. And I put another 600 outside the door to create that shaft of light. So I'm layering this image. So I have, it's also here. I have multiple layers of dark and pepper and salt and pepper. I put a light and I put a dark and I put a light and I put a dark, just that create dimension, that create interest in an image. And as you can see, you know, right in this image, you have a light here, dark here, really light here, darker here, light here, dark here, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. So we have, I don't know, 12 layers. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we have a hair light too. So that's what you want to do with your image. Not just put a key light on the subject and just the rest is whatever. What makes image interesting is what's happening behind the subject, and that's what I spend probably most of the time figuring out. All right, let's run quickly over all the lights, all the other lights I used in the shot. So I have the tube light here that's giving a hair light, right? So the hair light is here, right? We already talked about it. This light I use, this is the 600 with a Fresnel, and I was a little worried it's not gonna work, but it just worked. I had like a 1 minute, not even a minute to do this. It was completely empty here, so I just grabbed the 600, turned it on. With the Fresnel was already on it, and I use the top of this, what is it, the duct cover, to cut it, so it creates this edge. Otherwise it would be like a circle. I needed to cut it, and you can do it many ways. You can actually put a flag there, or cutter, or doors. I use the edge, just make it fast, and defocused it. What else? Is there any other light? Yeah, there is one more light. There's outside. I just left it there. It's outside there, shining through the window. That creates this shaft of light, which we used in a previous episodes as well. So, oh yeah, and there's one more light, and I'm gonna show you where it is. I don't know if it did much. But let me show you. I have this tube with Hollywooding it. This is Dale. He was doing photography on the day, but I needed some light on the receptionist's hair just to create some dimension. It was completely dark. Let me show you the ad, if you can even see it. Yeah, I don't know if it does something, but maybe just a tiny little bit, but maybe not. But that's what I was trying. With that light, we had another issue because of the glass here. It was reflecting. It was reflecting back to us. And not just that light. It was also the key light we had, right? So let's go back here. Yeah, you can see it here. I mean, in this angle you can see it, but see how that's the key light reflection. I had to move it out so I had to slide it back. I wanted to have it here, but I had to slide it back all the way there because it was reflecting in my shot in the glass. So that's that shot. I don't have anything more to say about that. So let's move on to the receptionist shot. Yeah, so let's run through the lights. I have the same tube light. You know, for this shot, I had it here. In this shot, I had it. I don't even know what we shot first, but I had to move it, and I'm using this. This is called scissor clip, right? It's just this metal object. That is the key light in the back, and I kind of dig these long boxes. It's so much easier to position in the room rather than those big domes. I love the domes, but they're just so big, and just they're just like hitting everything. Yeah, so there was the key light here that is doing most of the work around the left side of her, right there. Here we have the wrap. All right, so this is the wrap, right? The wrap is doing this and this. If we didn't have the wrap, we probably would get this, but we would not have light on her right eye, her left eye. So that's why we're doing the wrap. So the other light was outside here. We used the 1200, and I really, really dig it. I think without it, it would be so much worse. The other thing I thought we're gonna use is a floppy, as in every shot, and it turned out to be kind of too contrasty already, so I backed it off. So I don't have any floppy close by. It was somewhere here, but I don't think it changed the image. But as you can see, it's quite dark already, so no floppy needed. And the last light, which I want to discuss, and I fiddled with it for so long. I wonder if I have it here. Oh yeah, right there. So this is the light here, which does a little bit. It's also here in the final shot. It does something. It's not great. I was first trying to get it on the counter over here, as I did in the first episode or second episode when I was trying to put it on the water cooler, but it just didn't look right. So I end up just moving it on the back wall. So create another dimension. There's some kind of window or something. Otherwise, this will be really dark. Last thing I want to say is, if we're going to watch the commercial, you can see that many shots are not exactly how the sun would be or the light would be. I mean, it flips from one side to another, and like hers right now, her light is, where is it coming from? From the wall. Like here too, where is it coming from? From here. There's no window, but it just looks good. And like here too, like you want to just, every shot you do, you just want to make look the best, especially for commercials. Maybe for the film, you might want to have continuity, but even there, how many movies you see where every actor has a backlight and it's backlit, and in reality, one of them would be front lit, but it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. So regular viewer won't notice it, and that's the lesson here. Just do what looks best, and don't worry that the light would not be coming from that side. It just looks better than if she's dark because the light is coming from behind her only. So yeah, layer it up and just do the lighting that looks the best for every shot. As I promised you in the beginning of the video, I want to give you a little tutorial how I sold this commercial to the company, like what steps I took. And it's not like there's a book somewhere you can just read and figure it out. I don't think I still have it figured out. I just feel like I'm trying to find the people that are represented in the company, let's say a president, CEO. And sometimes I'm looking for CMO, chief marketing officers. And tell you the truth, most of the companies, they don't have emails anywhere on the website or anywhere. Many times I have to do detective work, and sometimes I get lucky. I found some emails. Sometimes I get the end of the email and I figure out the front of the name. And there's only a few options. Like you have the first name dot last name or first initial dot last name. Most of the time I don't get anything back, but sometimes they reply back right away. And it happened to me with my commercials. So my advice is you need to put in the work, looking for the right people, maybe LinkedIn, and just trying to find the email, and make sure you spend a little time on the constructing of the email. Use AI, because that's the only shot you're going to get. And make sure that your link is working, that you don't have problems with Vimeo or YouTube or any software, any platform you use, that they can definitely see. I sometimes even add like screenshots. And in our case, we also had photography. So I added few posters with slogans I created for them. So it really worked for Trupanion. And after I emailed it to them, they reached out back and they wanted to have a Zoom call with me. So I did. And because I really believed in this commercial and I really care for animals and pet owners having pet insurance, I was speaking the truth. It was very genuine conversation, and they felt the passion for their brand. They felt passion for saving animals, and I think that sold them, and they were really excited about this whole endeavor. And honestly, every time I do these specs and they bite, they want to take the commercial, they want to buy the commercial, first thing they always ask me is like, why did you do it and how did you do it? And I have to tell you, the biggest thing of doing spec commercials this way, that you shoot them first on your own, you pay your money, you put your money into it, and then you show them the final product, rather than, you ask them, hey, this is my work, look at my portfolio, give me 50,000 and I'll shoot a commercial for you. Like who would do that? Who would entrust some stranger with 50 grand or even 30 grand? And like they probably have an agency. So you have to kind of win them over, and you might even have to find their own sources of commercial, like their agency they use. So you have to be more exciting. You have to show them something so exciting that they want to talk to you. And I think creating commercial as a finished piece and present it as a fully finished commercial gives you few options and advantages. One is you show them how the commercial exactly looks. They see it exactly. They don't have to imagine anything. You don't show them treatment. You have to realize you might imagine it, and you are a very creative person because you are director of photography or a filmmaker. But a bunch of people and business people, sales people, they might not have the imagination. That's why you want to show them as close as possible to the finished product as you can. And when they see your final product, and I assume they will have some suggestions, and that's, you win right there, because once they see it, if they're giving a suggestion, they like it. They just want to just tweak it a little bit. They want to put their 2 cents in it. They want to give you advice, because then they feel like they were also part of this commercial. I'm assuming my spec commercial is about 80% there, and they will need to either, give me a suggestion how to alter it. Maybe you have to get a pickup shot, or if it's something I cannot really change, something in the background, some kind of logos, or I don't know what, then we reshoot the whole thing. With the first commercial I sold, I just sold it right out without reshooting. But they did have suggestions. They said, could you change the graphics? Some lines were not accurate. Like, oh, we cannot say that. We cannot. It was an insurance company. And they were like, we cannot promise that, that will happen. So I'm always assuming that they will want to have changes. Lastly, and that maybe it should be first, you got to believe that what you're doing will be, it's great. You need to trust in yourself. You need to believe that you can do it. You're going to be projecting that when you're talking to them once you're trying to sell it, because you do fight many things. You need to gain their trust in you as a filmmaker, and as also somebody they're going to trust in with a lot of money. So you have to, if you can show them the final piece, then they already know, like, hey, this guy can do it. Like, I believe that this guy has the know-how and the ability to create this commercial. I trust him because I see it. So those are my tips for how I landed this commercial. In the next episode, I'm trying to start something new, something that is not talked about on YouTube much, and I think it should be, and that's filmmaker's lifestyle, as what we do is supported with the other aspects of our life that nobody discusses. Your mental, your physical aspect, your spiritual aspect of you as a filmmaker. And these topics are as important, maybe even more important than filmmaking itself. So why is not everybody talking about it? And there's only very few people who are, and it kind of worries me as for myself, and I want to explore how can I get better in these other aspects so I can be a better filmmaker. And that's and way more we're going to be discussing in next several, I don't even know how many episodes, but it will be more than one. And I cannot wait to go on a journey with you and hopefully have a discussion and make some progress. So that's it for this 3 episodes, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care.